I've been concerned for some time now about the proposed Foxton travel hub, which is going to be on the other side of the A10 near the station. There's a lot of negatives about it, about the interlinking of the villages and the lack of good bus services and cycleways between the villages. But my biggest concern is the safety aspect. And I was out the other day on my bike, as I do, along the side of the A10, and I was just thought it's a good idea to get some videoing done here of what the proposals are, so that people can see what it's really going to look like. So forgive me, but coming up are some repetitions because I'm not very good at doing things like this, and there's a lot of noise, but I hope you'll get the message, and I hope perhaps you'll contribute towards making some comments on the survey that's going to be asked for locals to fill in the near future, to let your thoughts be known, because I think this scheme is very dangerous. I think it's going to cause a lot of concern to a lot of people, and I think if there's any way we can get it really changed significantly or stopped, I think we should. So have a look and see what you think. Thanks.
So here we are. This is what it's all about, the railway crossing at Foxton. It's a place where vehicles have been held up for many years and where emergency vehicles under blue lights are stopped. And this is where they plan to slow the traffic and narrow the road there. So it's only 6.4 metres wide, so the cars and the lorries will be even closer down the middle than they are now. And then either side of that, you're going to have a 2-metre pavement for bikes and pedestrians to go past. And it only takes a little wobble on a bike or a kid or an elderly person to trip up, and we could have a disaster here right on top of that railway line. It really is not sensible. And if you couple this with the 2 uncontrolled pedestrian crossings going across the A10, trying to get across this traffic, I think it's just going to be a nightmare. And I think we really need to have a rethink about it. So here we are now at the junction at the top of Station Road, and this is where the pedestrian crossing is going to be to take people across to the station. So the pedestrian crossing will be positioned about where that blue car is now, and as you can see, if anybody tries to turn in or come out of there, they have a bit of a job. Queues can last, or people be waiting there for absolutely ages. And as you can see, there's a lot of traffic coming through. Just a bit further up there, 200 yards up there, there's going to be a pedestrian crossing, and that pedestrian crossing has not got a pelican crossing, it's a central island. So pedestrians from the car park are going to be stepping across the cycleway, halfway across the road onto a central island, and then from there, from the central island, onto the other side. And that access is for all people in their cars, whether they're physically disabled, have wheelchairs, whether they're kids with their parents. Everybody has to cross that A10 onto a central island and onto a pathway, then running along this A10 back here to the Pelican Crossing for crossing Station Road. And as you can see here, the traffic is still building up on Station Road. With a pedestrian crossing there, that can only get worse, and it's going to go back a long way. And the big fear here is that once that pedestrian crossing is in operation, if anybody comes from this direction, a lorry or a bus, and turns left into Station Road, and that traffic light or pedestrian crossing is at a stop, the traffic can easily back up then out onto the A10 and even back onto the railway line between the barriers. It is just so dangerous. So this crossing here, I think, is really going to give everybody a bit of a problem, even more than it does now. As you can see, they're still queuing up to get out of Station Road. People already leave this village out on the Falmere Road to go around via Newton and Harston to get on the back road, because it takes so long to get out of here. Okay, so while the traffic's quiet, the barriers are down. This is the location where the car park is going to be. It's for 500 cars, possibly 750 if you look at the latest stuff that's coming through. And this is the location where
is deemed to be the best location for a bypass to be built. They've looked at so many opportunities and so many things, but this is the best place. This is where they put a bypass flyover, and all this problem with the traffic and all this problem with the safety of pedestrians crossing to get to the station and cyclists, it all stops because a bypass is here. And if you listen to the Mayor and our MP, they think that we should be looking at some long-term strategy, some big thinking about how we best look after the roadways in and around Cambridge. Well, I'm afraid there's not a lot of long-term thinking going here. This is a short-term fix so that people have got somewhere to park when they go to Addenbrooks. It's a car park for Addenbrooks, and that's what it's about. So here we are. This is roughly where the pedestrian crossing is going to be, and it's where people come out of their car park now. They step across here, and they've got to get across this cycleway, step out into the road here, maybe half the carriageway, and onto the island in the middle, and that's where they're going to have to wait until the cars from the other direction have gone through. So you could be stuck in the central reservation for a long period of time with nowhere to go. Quite dangerous, I think, really. And with the cars coming out onto this A10, because it's so busy, as they come out, the traffic will build up and up and up, and we're going to have more problems with people from the local villages, the towns around here, getting out onto the A10 to get to wherever they want to go, to commute to London or to get into Cambridge. It's going to stop all that, and in addition to that, we're going to find that we're going to have a lot of traffic coming from the A505 and the A603 to get to this car park, and they're going to be coming through the villages like Barrington and Falmere and Chiplow and Harston to get to this car park in peak times of the day. So when kids are being taken to school, the traffic through all these villages is going to be higher, and it's going to be more dangerous, and somebody really needs to think about it before it's too late. So there we are. I hope that's got your brain buds twinkling, and I hope you can see that there are concerns out there for the safety of pedestrians and cyclists. I think that the GCP are putting this car park there really to feed the new Cambridge South Station, or provide parking for Cambridge South Station. That's what it's all about. There's no doubt about it. Cars should go somewhere, but not where they're planning to put it, and not at the expense of a bypass in the future. I think it's dangerous. I hope you'll pass this link on, if you would. It's going to affect more than just people in Foxton. It's going to affect people in all the villages around, and all those that use the A10. It's going to make more and more hold up. So do get involved and let your feelings be known on the survey that the GCP are putting out, I think from the 6th of September. The GCP have many objectives, but one of them is to keep cars out of Cambridge. Well, this is going to do that. And the other one is to, it says here, contribute to the enhanced quality of life for those living and working within Greater Cambridge. Well, that may be the case, but we're not Greater Cambridge. We're the villages around Cambridge, and there's a lot of us. And it doesn't take into consideration the safety of passengers. It doesn't take into consideration the safety of cyclists or pedestrians. It just basically keeps the cars out of Cambridge. So do get involved, let your thoughts be known, and hopefully we can put a stop to this. Thanks for listening.